so that you can't sue me later and say, why did you record it? Imagine, I'm sure you get people that would do such things. What did you say there, Judy? I couldn't figure out what you're saying here. I've got great news.
No, I just said great news for Jacky because he's okay now with his chemo. I think that's fantastic. My son's going through chemo at the moment. And yes, you do have to drink a lot of water, but that's great news. Fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. That's difficult.
Can you hear me now?
You talk about Jacky and Jacky, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yes, Jean, I can hear you.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, Shelley.
Hey, Shelley.
I was so worried earlier, you know, when I just started this whole thing, and I'm thinking there was only 2 people. I think it was only Jacky and no, it was Mark and somebody else, Paul. And I'm thinking, oh my word, there's not going to be anybody at this live today. The Tuesday night training, I'm going to cry my eyes out. I hate it. Imagine how that feels like. Oh, there's only 2 people. Oh, shame.
I actually just sent you something. You were asking about our mobile app builder and could we do PWA? And technically we can, but there's one thing missing that ours doesn't do. And that is when you create the app, when you click the little QR code to go to it and access it on your mobile device, it doesn't pop up a little thing that says, would you like to save this on your phone? So you have to keep going back and keep going back and keep going back. You have to have the link. Whereas a real PWA, you just click a little thing and it adds it to the phone, and then you don't have to, then you just click the little icon every time as if you loaded it from Apple or Google. So I sent you an example so you can take a look at it.
Thank you, because that was one of the questions that was raised in my training this week. And it's like we've got now on day 4. It's not even finished yet. I think it's time that Shelley Turner creates that course. Come on, man, Shelley, make time for it. A lot of people need it.
I love mobile apps. They're so fun. But the challenge is definitely not making them, but publishing to the different platforms.
Yeah, and I know I saw there's a lot of software out there that says, oh, you don't need Android and you don't need this and you don't need that. But you know what? They are the largest platforms, you know. You want to be on it. That's probably the
right
thing. All right.
You'll see what I mean when you see that QR code. It'll make sense when you scan it. So check that out.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's here tonight. I'm really, really thankful. My heart is feeling very, very warm. And like I said, if you cannot understand what I'm saying, just shout. I still got a little bit of a hoarse voice. And at least the eyes look better. But I'm going to try my best. If you guys have got questions during the time, let me know, because there's probably going to be a few things that you did not know and maybe a few that you did know. So if you've got an agency and you are building websites for not just yourself, but for other people, this might be beneficial to you today. Because like I said earlier to Shivana, that we have got really a powerful builder, something that a lot of companies out there don't have. We've got the freedom to really design to our heart's content. And our Cheetah builder can do a lot of things. And that is what I'm going to show you today. And one of them that stands out for today is specifically this burger menu that you can have on desktop. And even I didn't realize it until one of my tribe in my group actually mentioned it. So that is what I love about you guys. If you ask questions, and I'm saying, please ask your questions, because it prompts certain actions in my head by thinking, oh, okay, could this be possible? And then to go try and figure it out and say that it is actually possible. And if the questions are not asked, we cannot create these things, and we do not know whether it's possible or not, because that question was never asked. So it does prompt us to create these different kinds of trainings. All right, guys. So I am going to go and share my screen. I'm not going to wait before I show you my screen. First, let's just talk quickly about mobile optimization in a nutshell. Why do we need to mobile optimize our site? Most of the users in the world are on mobile. There's not a large percentage that goes on desktop, although we design on desktop and we make it look so beautiful and we add all these different kinds of features. When it comes to mobile, the person on a mobile would care less of what the global look and feel of your site look like. They are there to find the content and the things that you are promising from wherever you are, whether it is pushing them from social media or a landing page somewhere, a link that they click. They are coming to your site to get something. That is the reason why they're there. They're not there just because they fell on your site. So do not overwhelm them with all of these design tactics, if you want to put it that way. You need to remove certain things from your mobile that is unnecessary. Things like too many testimonials. Nobody wants to look at 5,000 testimonials. If you can have 3 or 4 good testimonials, that's more than enough. Don't let them scroll until into eternity, because you're going to lose them. They're going to go out of that app. Another thing is, a lot of people love to put their awards images. I do the same thing, especially, you guys know we did this digital marketing thing from the digital marketer, that stack awards kind of thing. Yes. Now I've done plenty. I think I've done all 15 of them or 11 of them. And I've got them on my site and it looks so beautiful, but you're not going to find it on my mobile because people would care less about those type of things. And every single image that is unnecessary on your mobile is going to make your mobile load slower. So if you are going to make use of images on your site, on your mobile, make sure that those images are optimized. And when I'm talking about optimize is to make sure that you make it a little bit smaller. You can use tiny PNG to make it smaller. Although a lot of people say, does Builderall not compress the images? Yes, they do. But if you can compress it before you upload it, it's going to be even better. So make sure that your images are optimized. And then another thing that a lot of people has got no idea about is that fonts is your enemy. I know it sounds terrible, but it's your enemy. Do not use more than maximum 2 fonts on your site, because the more different kinds of fonts you load, the heavier the site becomes. So please try and avoid using all these different kinds of fancy fonts. I personally do not like to use fonts that is not already inside of Builderall. So I'm not a fan of uploading fancy fonts from all these different kinds of places, unless I really, 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 really need to. But just keep that into consideration. Then you guys know about the hide function. We will talk about the hide feature inside of our Cheetah builder a little bit later. And then the last point that I want to mention for mobile optimization is to limit animation. Animation is another one that really causes problems, especially when it comes to the mobile side, because it's another thing that needs to load. So try and avoid those type of things on mobile. So those are the things that in a nutshell when it comes to mobile optimization. You can always go and test your site with Google once you have completed and built your site to go check how it loads on mobile. And I personally going to say if it's under 98% showing on Google, go back to scratch. Don't accept less than 95% because you need your site to be fast. That is what I wanted to say about mobile optimization. So I'm going to jump onto my screen because I really have a lot to cover today. And I'm just warning you up front, if something seems off on Cheetah while I'm busy or whatever, take in consideration that we are live, we are streaming, we are making use of bandwidth and all those kind of things that can have an effect on it. Because I know in the past people say, oh, this thing is not working. Come on, man, I am streaming. My computer is on steroids at the moment. It takes bandwidth, upload and download. So sometimes things do take a little bit longer. All right. So I'm going to not look at the chat. I can see there's some chat going on. I'm not going to look at that. I will look at it afterwards and see if there's questions. And then I will, like Shirley always say, come back to you and look at your eyeballs. It feels so weird to say that because it's her saying, I can't say that. I will come back and look at you later if you've got any questions. But I'm very excited to share these things with you today. And I really hope that you guys can use it for yourself and on your websites. All right, so let me start sharing my screen here. And we're first going to start with a burger menu. We'll listen to that one. I laughed last night. I said to my husband, for me, it was last night. For you, it's now. But when I spoke about a burger menu, he thought actually I wanted to order takeaways. I said, no, man, not a burger menu. It's a term that we use in digital marketing for something that is small to be used on mobile. All right, so obviously the first thing that we are going to do is making use of a burger menu, but I am not going to show you guys today how to create a global header and footer because you guys know what that is. And to use a burger menu and on a site would be better to add it to a global header so that you can apply the changes to all pages. If you are not going to put it in a global header and you create it either as a personal element to keep adding, then obviously what's going to happen is if you need to make a change, you're going to have to make a change to every single page on your site. So I'm not going to go through that detail because that is not what the training is about. It's more to show you about the different kinds of design elements that you can have inside of our Cheetah Builder. So we're first going to go and add a panel, and we're just going to make use of a blank panel. All right, so I'm just going to remove the box here at the top. If I'm going to go too fast, guys, I need you to tell me to slow down. So I've got a list here of things. If it looks funny that I look down, it's because I am checking all the things that I need to do. All right, so we're going to do the panel first. Oh, just a second, I just want to move the paper. It doesn't fit on that side. All right, so let's go with it. On the right, we're going to click and we are going to go look for the big menu. And we're going to see that there's 3 different options. We don't want all the things at the bottom of those 2, so we just want a plain and simple one. All right, I'm just going to drop it there. And I'm also going to make use of an image. Oh no, my voice is just got the hiccups here. Going to grab an image. And the image we're going to use is a logo. So I just want to kind of make it sensible. And I'm going to change the logo or the image to have a logo in it. And now you need to apologize because this is what happens if you use certain features over and over, because you need to scroll down until you find them. And the ones that I'm looking for is just a Batman logo, because that's what it's going to be about today. And then I'm going to change the background by right-clicking and go down to the background settings. And I'm going to make it black because that is what this whole thing is about. Now, guys, sometimes I might go too fast and thinking that you guys do know this by now. If you do not know it, again, let me know. Now, if you're working with an element at the top of the page and there's too much space and it feels like you can't drag it up, you just right-click, go to the sizes and make the minimum height 0. And then you would be able to move this up and down, as you can see. All right. So now you can see we've got a logo there. Just going to do that. And what I'm going to do is, and it's something that a lot of people wonder why I do these things, but I love to add an additional blank panel to work with before I move it to the final panel. So you're going to see I'm just dropping it in here because this is now my work area where I can play around with this. And this is just a tip, take it or leave it. But I have found that if I'm trying to work with something in the small limited area where I actually want to place it, it makes it more complicated. I rather put it in a very big, large open area where I can place and change and adjust. Because when you've got small areas like this, you can see it's so difficult to move things around and adjust it. Where when you just click here, all the space and everything is happening right there. So now for this container, we do not need all of these sections here. We just need one container. We do not need all 3 of them. So be careful when you click on it. if I click on the outside line, it's the big menu group. When you click on the inside, it shows the menu page. So we need to click and delete a menu page so that there's only one left. All right, like that. So now you can see the container is a little bit messed up, but the only way to fix that is to right click on it. And we are going to go through the container size. So I'm going to see if I can change this. Oh, no, not that one. That's 48. About needs to stay there. Let's change the container height, maybe. Let's do this. I'm going to put this about 283 and see what happens to the height. That's fine. Oops. Right click. The container width is the problem here. It needs to be around the same thing. No, it's not. Hold a second. We're going to move it away now. There it comes back. And this is where you need to play around to get the container in the right place. Right click. Let me just try again. I think we've got it here as 288 width. It's still not 288. Okay. Just bear with me 1 second. You know what? It's easier to work with the other one. Let me just add the other container back. See what I'm saying when it comes to the design of these things? Let me just add another container, big menu, and delete the ones at the side. Because I always work with the first one. Let's just delete that one. And that one. Yeah, there we go. See, don't overcomplicate things. There we go. So that has already been set, but if it's not the right way, just right click and change your settings for each and every single that's in the group, the settings of the container. All right, so now we're going to do the color of the heading. And the header color, we are going to stick with black. That's what I think I wrote down here. And we're going to make the container color. And this is all about designing and playing around with it a little bit. Then background hover, we've got black. And this is all about thinking about the design of your site when you are doing this so that it's going to fit your scheme of your site. We've got yellow. That one we can make black. These actually I wrote down prior to our training so that I don't bore you with finding colors. All right. So let's just preview quickly and see what it looks like. You can see there's the menu now coming up. All right. That is the start of it. So you need to play around with the colors that when I add this now to the top, it's going to become part of it, if I hover over it, if you can see that. All right. So let me just take it out again. But now we're not done with it. Now we're going to right click again or open it up. And we need to go and add some buttons inside of this menu. So let's go grab the buttons. And in this example, we're just going to add 3 buttons. I'm just going to stick with a yellow. Let me just go and make space here. Again, it's all about the spacing. Where's that yellow button? Right. And I'm just going to duplicate it, clone it 3 times. Actually, now before I clone it, I wanted to make it smaller. And I'm deleting it again because I want it to be the exact size. 1, 3. So let's pretend that my burger menu, in my burger menu, I'm only going to have 3 options. So there is the first one. There's the second one. There's the third one. Now, again, guys, you can increase the size of your container. I'm not going to show you today how to do that. We've got actually training and showing you how to do that. We just need to make this now smaller. This container is the width is a little bit too big. So let's go play around with the size of this container. And I think the container size that I wrote the last time when I played with it was about 288. Right, so you can see there it is. Now we need to move this one in. Come on. Now the ruler at the top of your page is very important, especially when you struggle to find things to work it exactly, because you can see what has happened. If I click on it, it takes the box away and I cannot really see where to move it. So this ruler is really awesome to use when you do this kind of thing. So let's just stretch it a little bit so we can see how nicely it can fit in there, even a little bit in the middle. And don't be like me. When it comes to these things, being a perfectionist, you know, that's why I use the ruler to avoid that. All right, so here is our little box that we've created so far. Now, obviously in this box, we need to change these buttons. And I'm sure you guys know how to do that by going to the headline. And let's just call this Marvel. No, let's call this Batman, because that is what this whole training is about, Marvel superheroes. And I'm going to right click. And can you guys see what's happening? Let me stop right there again. I click on Batman and I right click. And I've got the headline already open. Don't close your box. Just go to the next one and right click on the next box. And it's opened up in exactly the same space where the other one is without having to scroll for hours. People sometimes ask, how do I design sites so fast? It's because you find these little workarounds that save time so that you don't have to scroll. So let's call this Spidey or Spider-Man. And let's call this one my favorite, Iron Man. All right. So obviously I could have changed the colors, but I didn't. You see, here comes the perfectionism that kicks in, you know. If you want it to be perfect. I'm sorry to doing that to you, but that's just how it is. That's how the cookie crumbles. All right. So now I'm just want to make sure you people are still here. Yes, I can see you all. So now we need to get rid of this title thing. We need a burger menu there because that looks ridiculous. I want a burger menu. How do I do that? We're going to right click and we're going to go to the title and we're going to remove that title. All we need to do, the first thing you need to do is the size of that burger menu. That's what you need to go and increase that size. Now I have found that 37 is kind of a nice size for desktop. I could have just typed in 37, but I like to go the long way. So make it to 37 and you're going to scroll until you get to the show icon list. And you're going to go find your burger menu. Now there's quite a lot of different kinds of burger menus here, but remember what is a burger menu. You can't have just small little stripes. I'm going to show you if I can find one smallest stripe here. I think there's one. And I don't use that one because it doesn't look great. And there's hundreds here, guys. There's hundreds. I love using these little icons. I can spend hours in this thing. You can see there's 2 lines. That's not a burger menu. You need 3 lines. Also, that is not a burger menu. I think it is next to an alien. The one that we are going to use is next to an alien. Let me just keep scrolling. There is one. It's not an alien. It's a guy that does yoga. Okay, that's just good enough. You're going to select that one. All right, so now you've got your icon chosen. You need to make sure that you've got the right color for the burger menu. And I think I wanted it to be yellow. All right. So now it's time to move this baby into its place. All right, and hit save. Are you guys with me or against me? Awesome. All right. So now we're safe. Let's go take a look what it looks like in preview. And I'm such a rush. So when you click on this in preview, it's not working. Hold on a second. Preview. It's not there yet. Just hold a sec. It's gonna come. Just need to make sure everything is there. Just want to check. Where's my buttons? I hate it when that happens. And that's another thing, guys. Don't think something are not working. Sometimes things move out of the places. I don't know why, but it sometimes happens. It's not gone. There's actually another thing I'm going to show you later on what happens in mobile when when you're trying to find something and it's not there. Let's see if it's still happening. And we need to bring this up to the front because what's happening is, I'm going to show you now, look where it sits. All right. So we need to bring this up to the front. And layer up. All right. So now it looks like we've got action happening. So let's go click and save again. And I think this is where most people fall off the bandwagon to say, the thing is full of bugs. You know what? Most of the time it's not full of bugs. It's because we, the users, are not doing our part by making sure that you play around correctly. Now you can see we've got a blue line there. We still need to get rid of that border there. I haven't got rid of that border yet. Where is that border? Container border. I think it's blue. Somewhere it is blue. And I just want to see where it is. Menu, container, border. We don't want the border. There's still a slight blue. Menu border. General color. There we go. Let's just make it transparent. There we go. That looks pretty. So let's go look what it looks like in real life. Ta-da! Guys, isn't that awesome? Beautiful. All right, so that is the burger menu, but that's not all about the burger menu. You now have two options with a burger menu. The one is to have a logo next to it in mobile, just like this at the moment. And the other one is to have the logo below it. Now remember, you can have additional bar right here with a normal burger menu as for mobile. So if I'm going to have to duplicate this one here now at the bottom, just going to bring it up. You would be able to hide this whole feature in mobile and only have that available on desktop. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to take this one away here. And you're going to see what I mean right now. And we might have our normal menu. Just looking for the normal menu. And I'm not going to make this pretty now, guys. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So this could be your desktop. This could be desktop. This could be mobile. All right. Because why I'm saying this is because in mobile, if you go to mobile, and remember, we didn't put the branding for the logo now in the right place. So ignore that. The top one here is the one that we've created manually. You can see how it looks like. This is the one that the system creates. Can you see the difference between the two? So those are the two options that you're going to have to play around with. What is going to work best for you and what is going to be the one that you choose. Let's say you don't want this one. All you need to do is click at the top so that you can see that you are highlighting the whole area, not just the logo. Because if you click on the logo, you're only going to hide the logo. But if you click on the whole element, it will hide the whole section area of that element. And that is how you would set it up. Now, obviously, there is ways and means of making use of the logo next to it. So let's play around with this option here. If you want this logo to be next to this menu, you would right click on your menu and you're going to go to the brand and you're going to upload your logo here. So let's go find that sucker. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And I'm showing you both ways because this is something that you are personally going to have to go play around with as to what works best for you. And then I'm going to delete that one. Now it looks like we don't have a brand there, but there is a brand. So let's go take a look on menu. And you will see your brand logo sits there. Now you can right click, there it is, you can center, and you can increase it or decrease it. So let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see what happens to it on the left. There it lists the logo. It's a little bit squashed, but you're going to have to play around with it. Now, the only thing that I have against using, although this one looks beautiful on mobile, I would not prefer to make use of this on mobile because of the fact that these are interactive, and I haven't tested this one on mobile, but I have tested it on desktop. But again, it's a choice of to which one you are going to use. So that is basically how you would create it with buttons, all right? So I'm just going to delete this specific one. Is there any questions with regards to the burger menu at this stage? No question.
Jacky,
Yes? Yes.
So what if you try, just thought about this right now, for the mobile version that you had, keep the image there, but divide the panel into two?
Yes, you can do that too.
Okay.
Yes, I'm actually going to show that how to divide the panel in one of the other things. But I just wanted to show them the difference between the two, that you can hide an element. If you guys, yeah, I might as well show it here because Gina's right. Let me go share my screen again. If you want to use this option, you just need to divide the panel. That's basically what it's saying. So when you go down and let's go look what it is. I haven't used it for ages. Background settings. What is it called again? Mobile advanced. You're going to enable and you can do up to 3 columns. I don't like the 3 because then it becomes very, very small. I will only use the 3 when it comes to social media icons. But if you do it on 2 and you go to mobile, you would see the logo next to it and not on top of it. So let me just kind of unhide this one. Let's just do this. And you can see what the effect that it's giving you. But you need to play around with it until it's better. So let me say I can make that even smaller so that you can have space for your menu. And that's why I prefer not to add, because then it becomes too small. And that is another reason why I said just now, you have to choose which one is going to be best. I prefer to have the normal menu navigation for mobile and this specific one just for desktop. But again, it's a choice. It's a choice as to whether you guys want to use the burger menu on both sides. I just wanted to show you the functionality. All right. No questions whatsoever. Cool. I see there's 19 things, but that's fine. We can't look at 19 stuff. So I'm going to go to the next one and we are going to see the screen again. Just want to take a sip of water. All right. Let me just close that for one moment. And guys, I'm going to start deleting things and panels and reinstall panels because there's so much. I don't want to get confused with all the different kinds of things that I want to show you. All right, so we are done with the burger menu. Now we're going to go over to another thing on panels. And this one is about, let's quickly see. All right, we are going to talk about the first panel on top of a site menu design. Now the normal size is 1920 in width. People always ask, what is the spacing for a web design? It's 1920. And they say, okay, but what is the length? It depends on what your images you are going to use and that kind of stuff. So there's not a specific one. I normally go with 1920 by 600, but some people have smaller, some have larger. It depends on what you want to do. But there is two options, basically. You've got a panel where you can have your image inside of the panel where it form part of the panel. Or you can have a background and have an image on top of the panel, like a PNG image. So there's those two different kinds. And I'm going to show you both of them today. So let me start with the first one. Sorry if I sniff. We're going to go to panels. All right, I'm taking the text away. And I am going to right click. Well, background settings. Now, I've already created these images a while ago. So I'm just using and reusing what I've got. Most of my images, guys, I design all my stuff inside of Canva because you can set your images right there. So now the tips and tricks is happening here. I'm just going to put my sound off for 1 second. I just need to blow. All right, so I've uploaded an image. You guys can see here I've got Batman. So I'm going to click on it so you can see him better. All right, so here is Batman. This image is fully optimized already. And let's say I don't want Batman on this side. I want him on the other side. Believe it or not, but we have got an image editor inside of Builderall where you can edit this image. You don't have to go back to Canva to swap or flip or crop something. All you need to do is go back to that image. And I know, guys, now I have to scroll again to the bottom. Why didn't I just re-upload it? Or just sort it under name. You can see my stuff is not even named. I can't believe I'm such a bad designer. I don't name my stuff, but that's fine. So you can see that we've got this little editing button, okay? So when we click on the image next to it, here is your little editor. You've got a variety of different things that you can do. Cropping, flipping, that's what we want to do. You can play around with all these settings and filters and whatever, but we need to flip this baby. And then you'll see it says flip horizontal or vertical. We're just going to click that one. And now it's on that side and we're going to hit save. So now we've got two versions of this guy. He's now flipped to the other side. All right, so let's just wait for him. Why are we always waiting for Batman? I think we've put the star thing in the sky. He knows he needs to act. And probably it's already saved. And that's what I realize these days. Sometimes when things take long, I just say reload. I'm not waiting too long because I am convinced that it's already been saved. So let's just wait. And now we're going to go back and we are going to go background settings, change that image. And it should be there at the top. And it is. You see, I told you, man. I know. So there is our little Batman facing the other way now because that's where we want him. I just want to delete this sucker at the top. We did delete it previously, but I didn't save. You see, save is your friend. Listen to what Shelly tells you. All right. So now we can see there is our little baby there. Now, when it comes to design, let me just add some text here so I can get rid of this image here. Now, I don't like to reinvent the wheel by adding text. You guys can go and click at the top and make sure that you set up your site fonts here in advance, or you can be lazy like I am And you're going to go to the panels, first fold. And I'm going to go look here. And it's always the same one that I always use. And I'm going to click. And then I'm just going to go and grab this box because I do not want to reinvent the wheel and delete. Why do I have to go struggle to go add buttons if you can just copy it from one of those templates? So here we've got our little, whatever we want to do with it. I mean, I have no idea what we're going to do with it at this stage, but here we've added it. Now you want to ask me, I want to tell you something quickly. A lot of people say, but we've got Batman now here. How is it going to look on different devices? Because the main part is, your most important part when it comes to the designing of your panel is to make sure that the most of the image is between these two blue lines on the side, all right? So that everything that is outside of it, if it's on larger screens, they will still get the full picture. But if it's on smaller screen, this is the area that's going to be compressed. So if I have to go to mobile now, you're going to see his face is still in there. After we've changed these little things around, there is his face slightly showing in it as well. And it can become more prominent if you change these texts. And I'm going to talk about that in just one moment. So let's just go back there quickly. All right, so when it comes to text, there is different things that you can do to it. And especially when it comes to mobile optimization. So I'm going to show you now, when I click on this little text editor, you can't see the text because it's white. You can see it's currently on neutral. You get different kinds. You get neutral, and then you get heading. Now, when something is in neutral, it means that on mobile, you will be able to change the fonts. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to leave Snack Express, that one in neutral, but I'm going to change the heading, the main heading, away from neutral, and I'm going to put that as a heading because I want to show you the difference of what happens inside of mobile when you do that. So let's go to mobile now. And Snack Express, remember we set Snack Express and this little icon here, we left it as neutral. So if I go click on it and I right click and I open the general settings, you would be able to increase the size and decrease it. As you can see right there. All right. But look what happens with the one that we didn't play around with. You cannot change the size of that specific item. So it's important to remember that if you want to be able to have the freedom to make your text or the font larger and bigger, it needs to be on neutral. All right. I don't know if style does it. I think Shelley said something once about style. I've never used style, to be quite honest. But in style area, it's sometimes given option for style, but I haven't played with style. It doesn't show up here. But that is the main part of it. I'm just going to discard that. And the smaller these things become, the more prominent the background image is going to be. So let's go back. I'm going to show you now what I mean with that. I'm going to put this little bugger back to neutral, but I'm putting it to neutral heading. All right. Sometimes when you put it in neutral, they become very small, but you can just increase the font. All right. So let's go back. And I'm going to show you what happens if you play around now. You can see now that it's like that. If you start deleting, making it smaller, look at Batman's face. It becomes more prominent because you're giving more space. So it depends on your design and it depends on what you want to do and how you want it to look. But I think it looks quite nice that way. This button is a little bit out of space, out of place. I mean, you don't have to have that button that long and broad, but you can go play around with it and make it a little bit smaller because we really don't need that headline to be that huge. You can change the font size right here. And especially here, I'm not going to want it that big. And we can make the font size smaller on mobile as well. And we can take a look at what it looks like just now. And you can see it's starting to look a lot better. You just need to change the button's width, the size of the button itself. Maybe you want to add it on the other side or wherever you want to. All right, so that is the section with regards to the banner at the top. All you do next is to click Save. Now, if you want to have an image, actually, we're going to show that now on the next section. Is there any questions? No questions whatsoever. Yo, you guys are quiet.
We're in awe, Jacky, of what you're teaching us. And this is going to be amazing. We can sit down and just go through slowly because you are going very fast, but that's fine. You're explaining it. So I'm sure everybody agrees we can go through it slowly after and do all the sections. So I'm loving it. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry. I know that it's going a little bit fast because I've got quite a large list. I mean, guys, there's look at it, 6 pages. Are you ready? 6 pages.
We're ready. Carry on.
No, it's not that tough. Oh, my nose is so blocked up. Please, I apologize for my voice in advance. All right. So let me go back to the next thing. Share screen. You guys can see I'm a Batman fan. All right, Batman and pets. All my training is always Batman and pets for some reason. All right, so we've done that. And now is the next amazing thing. So we're going to delete this panel once again. I hated to delete stuff that looks nice. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to add another panel. Add a panel, blank one. And let me see what I'm going to add in here. All right, so now, like we are going to talk about adding an image on top of a panel and not having the image as part of the panel. All right, so there is our panel. We're going to delete the text box or the text what's on there. And we're going to make this color of the background black. All right, so there is our background. We need to add some text on top of it, or not text, image on top of it. Now, to add an image on top of a panel, you need the image to be in a PNG. Otherwise, it's going to have a background. All right, so make sure that you design in Canva or whichever one you use. It could be GIMP or any of that nice photo editors, whatever graphics things you want to call it. And now we're going to go add an image. I'm going to look for the image button. And I'm going to right click, change the image. And again, I'm going to scroll until eternity because all the stuff for the last almost 2 years, guys, can you believe it's almost 2 years for the Mac 5, eh? It's unbelievable. Okay, here we go. Here comes my Batman. Now I'm so list for this movie. All right. Actually, I don't want to use Batman. I'm just looking, just bear with me. I'm just looking for an image quickly for this example because I don't have a Batman image that is transparent there. I just want to see if I could find another one that I can use. I think I've got a logo here somewhere that I can make use of. Just bear with me for 1 small second. Not that one. God, I don't want it to look silly though. There, let me use board games because that, yeah, let me just use this board games because that's a nice background look. All right, so there is our PNG image that is on top of the brand. If you don't put, you can put it anywhere actually on your desktop, because why am I saying it? On mobile, the image is not going to be on the panel. So let's see what happens if I just drop it there. What happens in mobile? You can see it is this, doesn't matter where you put it. It's going to cover the whole section of the panel. It's irrelevant where you're going to put it. but not on desktop. So let's just play around a little bit and see what happens. Again, we are going to add some text. So what I do is I'm just going to go back and add a panel to avoid taking too long. And I'm just going to grab one with white because we want to put white on black. I'm going to bring it up. I'm just going to take this box away for now. I don't want that box. Delete the panel at the bottom. So we work only with this one. All right, so there is our little box. Let's see what happens with a panel or an image that is stretched out as a PNG on top of it. So let's go take a look. So this is what happens when you have an image on top of a panel that is not part of the background. Really look nice. I do design a lot of my sites this way, especially if you've got a brand that is very prominent. For an example, something like this, it pulls the eye of the person that is on mobile, knowing exactly what the site is about. And you can obviously start with your amazing headlines here at the bottom. So this is what happens. It's not like with the background image as part of it that is just showing slightly on the side of it. So you need to decide if you would like to have this kind of look and if you want to have the look of the design of Batman that we had previously. Now I'm going to show you another scenario now. And sometimes I've seen it so many times, people will tell me, Jacky, please look at my website that I've designed. And they don't make use of panels. They've got this one long panel. And they make life so difficult for themselves because if you have your images on one panel like this, and I'm going to show you, it's still easy if your images is not in a box. You can see all of these is inside of a box. All right. So if I take this box away and I just put my images like this, this is what a lot of people do because they don't know how it works yet. And then they're going to go to mobile. And sometimes these things are messed up. It's not in the right places. Sometimes it might be, I'm just moving it now. Maybe it looks like this. Then they still have to go click and get it into the right places because it is messed up. Now, it's still fine if you have limited text to it. But what happens if they've got this humongous long page? So I'm going to increase this page and we are going to mess this up because I want to show you what happens. So let's go to the size and we're going to increase the height. And we're going to pretend that we have this long panel and we're just going to work with this long panel. And we're going to add some additional things here. So let's just go and add. So I don't know what to add here. I'm just going to add anything that comes to mind. Let's go grab content. The content block at the bottom. So we can see what I can just add additionally. I'm just going to have that one. And let's just add that one. All right. Only reason why I added the panels is I don't want to go and add an image and then go find the image and all that kind of stuff. So we pretend now somebody is building this site and this is what they did. Let me just do this so that we can see it. And this will make sense to you now in one moment. This will all make sense to you. So this is what somebody else is doing, not you guys, because you know everything. Other people. Okay. We don't do this kind of thing. We know that we should not design this way. All right, so let's do this. And if you are the other people, forgive me, I didn't mean you are silly. I'm just letting you know, and I'm giving you an idea of how to do this. So you can see now we've got heading, maybe they've got some other stuff here. They think that they're just going to space it out. And you can probably design this way, you know, having that as a panel and then have that as a panel and then have the next guy on top of that, something like that. Just also just change this color. And all of this is going to make sense in one moment. because I want to make a point here. All right, and I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not going to go too far into this whole thing. All right, so this person now has designed the site and it's all hunky-dory, but now they're going to go to mobile and they're going to rip out all their hair because everything is now messed up and they don't know what belongs where, because now all of a sudden this guy is at the top. Come on, man, Builderall sucks. That is what's been said. It sucks. Look at this. Back at the ranch, it's not Builderall that sucks. It's because you need to learn how the system works and how the platform works. It's all about creating panels, creating boxes. And if you are using the same panel to put these things in boxes, to group these items in boxes. So let's go do that. So let's go grab a box. And I'm going to show you the difference between the two. There is my box. And I'm not going to do layering and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to grab this box and open it up a little bit at a time, adding in this element, adding in another element, and element. All right, bring it to the top. And I know I'm going the long way. I can just use the layering, but I'm not going to struggle with layering now at this moment in time. All right, so there is our box. There is our image. We're going to make this box transparent. All right, just changing this little arrow. All right, so now you can see all of this is nicely in a box, which means all of this belongs to one area. It's going to do the same with this one. We're going to add another box. All right. And I'm just going to do this just to get them all into the box, and we can reallocate it and change it and play around with it just now. I prefer doing it this way. Some people make use of the layering. I hate layering. I don't know why. I hate to use layering, but that's a personal preference. All right, oops. And I'm just going to do this just so that we can get an idea of what I mean when it comes to putting things in boxes and grouping it. Let's make this panel also transparent. All right. So now you can see we've got that one is in a box. That one is in a box. Now we just need this guy in a box. Go grab a box. And you know what? In time, you realize that even though layering is great, it takes time. I'm just one of those people that, you know what? I'm not going to wait. I'll just drag and drop and click and move and go crazy. Right click and pull it. All right. So now everything is in boxes. Let's hit save because it's your friend. And if that's what they say, that's the truth. So now just wait for it while it goes, and we says that's fine. So yes, it's still going to be a mess. Why? Because we did not use panels. We didn't separate all our things into different panels, but grouping it is going to make it easier for you to move around. Because look what has happened. Voila. Because you have put it in boxes, it's put it all together in one area. What you do have to remember between these things when you have it in boxes is that you cannot move an element out of a box to another box because you've already set it to be part of that specific item. You can't move it now and decide, but I want this element now here at the bottom, because you can't do that. You're going to have to go back to desktop and remove it out of that specific box into the other box. All right. So let's say that we wanted to move these things around. You can move it around inside of that box. Now you're going to see if I keep clicking, it is not going to go beyond this line. If I click again, you can see it can't go there because it forms part of that specific box. You can only move it up and down in that box, which makes it so much easier for the person that comes in and saying, okay, well, this makes sense now. It's so much easier to move things around. So you can see now that box is done. This one is still in its order. Even this one is in its order. And that is what makes it so very important when it comes to the design of your pages. Everybody with me? All right. Phew. I am running out of, my throat's getting so dry. Okay, let's go to the next thing. Share screen. And I'm going to have to delete this one again. Let me just see quickly. I just want to make sure I'm covering everything here. Yes, we've done that one. All right, so let's delete our work again. And it's gone. Now we are going to, all right. So let's go add another panel. You guys don't even know what's going to come next, eh? I don't want to tell you what comes next. It's the only way I'm going to keep your attention. All right, so we're going to add another panel. And we're going to delete that. And I'm going to duplicate this panel. And I'm going to duplicate it again so that we've got 3 panels to work with. All right. And now we're going to add a global background. All right. So let's go click and change. Now, what is a global background? A global background is basically something that is going to be at the back of the site that when you scroll, you would be able, and you've got a transparent panel over it, it's going to give it a different kind of an effect. And that's what we're going to do. So let me just scroll down to one of my other images again. Let me just see. And I'm using specific images because I need to explain certain features. And these images I actually planned so that I can make use of it and you guys can see what I mean. Otherwise, not all images is going to do the same thing. Now you can see, oh, sorry, I just want to mute. So sorry, guys. Oh, it's terrible, these colds. But I'm glad it's a cold and not COVID. All right, so here we've got, I've added the panel. You cannot see that it's been added. All right, the only way for you to see it is to click on a panel, to right click on the panel, go to the background settings, and under the background area right here, you're going to take that and pull it to the side. Now you can see the images coming through. And if I scroll, that's the effect that happens. All right, so you would have text in this area. You will have text in this area. And I'm going to add some text because it actually looks so nice when we've got something there. And again, guess what Jacky is going to do? I'm not going to struggle to add text. I'm just going to go to contents and add text like this. Because it's already in a box. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. And then I'm just going to copy that box. You know what, guys, there's a saying, if you want something done, ask a lazy person because they will find the way around it the quickest way. All right, so you can see there what happens. Really beautiful, isn't it? So now if you look at this panel right here at the bottom, you might decide, but I want this blue to change a little bit. I want it to be a little bit higher or something like that. To be able to do that with your background, you're going to have to change the way the background image is uploaded. So when you go back to the top by the global background, you can see that you've got different origins here that you can choose and different positions. See what happens if I click on this different positions? It changes where it goes. So there is the little blue. This tells you if things needs to be repeated or not. All right. And then this one is how you want it. So if we don't say we don't want it repeated, let me just go back. That are the different kinds of options. And we can have that. Let's say maybe at the top, you need to play around with these different kinds until you find one that fits for you. All right. And then move it a little bit, go back. So that's just the area where you can play around with it to see how you like it. And again, remember, you can swap this around. You can decide to flip it horizontally or vertically if you maybe want the blue to show at the top. And that is basically what you do when you want to do some extra designing and make things look real cool. All right. All right, the next thing, this is something that I think Shelly has showed this before as well as some other Builderall member a while ago did the same thing that I'm going to show you now. It's really, really cool. I love using it. So I'm just going to remove this as well. And again, I wouldn't think and I wouldn't suggest that this is a perfect thing for mobile, because I haven't tested it on mobile yet, but it is a nice design feature. All right, so we're going to add a panel. Now, to be able to use this kind of thing, what I'm going to do right now is you need to go and create, let me just stop sharing. You need to go and create your design inside of Canva. So you're going to have your size as 1920, and then you're going to duplicate it. Now, the real place to really go and do it is in GIMP. I didn't use GIMP for designing mine because I use Canva for everything, but you can make use of GIMP. I don't know if it was Shelly and if it was the other Builderall member that used GIMP for this specific design. I can't remember, but I'm sure when Shelly sees it now, she can say if she did it that way. But I used it in Canva and I made sure that my images is exactly at the same space. So I would design my first image, and then I will duplicate that, and I will design the second image and have it overlay over the top of it. Was it you, Shelly? Okay. So she does it in GIMP. I did it in Canva. But we don't have the time today to go into that kind of detail to show you how that is done. I'm sure you can go find Shelly's training somewhere and how to do it. I'll show you guys how to do it on Canva on a later stage, but I just want to show you the possibilities and explain to you the reason behind it, that the two panels needs to be 100% identical. All right. And I'm going to explain it to you now. You're going to see what I mean. So I'm going to share my screen again. So I'm going to take this box away that we've added. And I'm just going to increase it right here. And I'm going to change the background of the panel. And I'm going to upload the image that I've used. And again, scroll to the bottom, the very bottom of this page. Okay, let me go find. There we go. So here is the first one. All right. So now I'm going to add the second one. Come on. Panels. And I'm going to scroll, delete this panel. And background change. And it will make sense to you now. I know it doesn't make sense whatsoever. And I probably lost you now for a moment, but don't worry. It's going to make perfect sense now. Basically, what these two things are, they are both, let me just bring that image background. There's basically, I'm just going to do it with both so that you can see. These images are identical. I know it doesn't look identical because I moved it around now. I'm going to put the settings in correctly now. They are basically identical. You can see it's the front of a shirt and the back of a shirt, but the arms is exactly the same space. If I had to take this image and enlarge it and put it over this one, it would look exactly the same. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up this page first. So when you go to the background settings of the page, you need to be able to change the origin for all of them. So the origin for this one is going to be that block. Everybody is going to be different. All right. The position is going to be center. The size is going to be that side. And I am going to keep it fixed. So that is the first one. Then the second one, going to do exactly the same thing. If I can remember it correctly. We've got the first block. We're going to keep it center. I think it's center. Position is center, I think. The top block is the size. And yeah, that is the two. So now you can see that we've got these two images right here. I should actually move it to the left. Let me see if I can move it to the left. Size. You see, there we go. So let me just move this one to the left as well. Yes, so you can see the difference. So you can see that they are both exactly the same if I scroll over it like that. Can you guys see that they are exactly the same image? All right. But now the magic is going to happen. Look what happens now. Remember, I'm going to right click. The first element right here, we're going to say keep fixed. The second one, we're going to right click, keep fixed. Look what happened. So let me add another panel so I can show you the effect. So let's preview. Look at the magic. Is it amazing? Judy? I saw your face and I was like, huh? It's awesome.
That reminded me of the training that Shelley did, and I did take a lot of notes and I just put it aside because that went right over my head. But seeing you do that now, I went, oh, that's what she meant.
I'm telling you, I love this. You know what that's what I'm saying. We don't sometimes realize what the system can do. You know, just by clicking fixed, it's like, what? It looks like these things is just, I don't know. It's just absolutely amazing. All right. So that was that one. I really like, and I mean, I can do it over and over and over. And I'm sure people coming to your site is going to do that too.
Yeah, when I was doing mine, Jackie, I did the little characters, and they're just little people characters or like little kids. And honestly, I made like 4 or 5 or 6 of them just playing around to get ready for the training. And then once they were made, I literally just scrolled up and down watching them change because it was so cool.
Cool. Oh my goodness. I can imagine. I was actually looking for a face that was happy and sad, you know, but yeah, I couldn't find one. So I said, oh, let me do this photo and shirt again. All right. We're going to take it a little bit further now. So we've got this. Let me just go back. Now, somebody has asked previously, what about if you want to add text to this thing? All right. How are you going to do that kind of stuff? So I said, you know what? It's not that difficult. Let's just pull the bar up to the side where the image is. And then the next one, we're also going to do the same. You just want to make sure that it fits nicely in between both of them. To see which part is part of what side. Okay, so there's our one. Let's go add a box the right way. Add your box. Don't not add a box. Now, a lot of people say, but I want it to be fixed on the page. Unfortunately, there's certain things you can't fix the box on the panel, but you can make it move with the character. So you can see I've added to the where the panel ends. And now I'm going to add some text to it. Maybe we're going to put a nice title. And I don't know why it always jumps. I hate that. That's something the developers one day need to fix. It's not when things jump out when you add stuff. I don't like it. All right. Mrs. Perfectionists that always justify everything in life. And I don't like it that there is not spaces. I know this is training, sorry. All right, there's the box. So I'm not going to make it now different colors. I'm really tempted to make it look nice, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of the training. And then I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to add it to this baby here so that it is kind of at the same place. All right. We can make this as a perfectionistic idea, if I want to put it that way, but I'm not going to do that. So let's go take a preview. So there's the text, the people are reading it, oh, blah, blah, blah. And as they scroll, you get the next text next to it. So that is how you would create things that would scroll. This will still stand still, but as that changes, you can have the new information next to the product. So if this is the product talking about it, you can talk about the front. This is the design with the Spider-Man logo, blah, blah, blah. Scroll, and then you say enlarged logo at the back, and this is the color. So it's just to give a little bit of a description. So that is how you would add the boxes to it. All right. All right, guys, that is that section. Let's delete this. Unfortunately, I would love to sit and watch it all night. For me, it's night. All right, so let's go to the next one on my list. I just want to check what have I got here. I'm still here. I'm just reading here. 2 seconds. All right. I think I'm not going to show this one because I spoke about it before. Let me just tell you quickly about it. It's basically hiding panels inside of Cheetah. I showed you before earlier today, or earlier, earlier, that you can add an element, you can add panels, and you can hide that whole panel inside of Cheetah and vice versa. Actually, I need to show that because some people might be watching it at a later stage and don't know. So let's say we've got a panel right here, and I'm just going to add something blindly here. Let's say I'm going to add, let's say that one and this one. Actually, not that one. Let's just delete that. So let's say we've got 2 of these panels. All right. And let's go to mobile. And we don't want this panel in mobile. You can click on it. Careful not that you click on the box, and you can hide the complete panel. And if you want to unhide it, here by the element, when you hover over it, you can see that the element is sitting there. And then you can go to mobile, and you can decide that you do not want this panel, and you can hide this one. So now you've got the purple design on your desktop, but on your mobile, you've got the orange design. And that's what I said earlier, that you can have 2 complete designs between the 2. And that is why I said it's important when it comes to search engine optimization, the speed of your site and the loading of the site and the fonts that you use and all those things plays a part when it comes to the SEO. And you can hide certain features that you do not want in your mobile area. And that is why I said that is so important. All right. So let me just delete this again and go to the next area. All right. So we've got that one. All right. This is also a fun one. Let's go add a panel again. We add a lot of panels today. A blank panel. and another one. And then we can add one with text on it. So let's go grab contents with text. All right. And I'm going to remove the text out of that box. Text out of that box. That one we can leave. So now we're going to change the background of this panel, not the global background. All right. So we're going to go to the background settings and we're going to change the image. And now I'm just going to grab this triangle because I don't want to scroll too much. So we've got this image right here. And I'm going to increase the size so that we can see when we do the scrolling. And increase the size a bit. All right. All right, so now what you can do is it's all about the opacity or the scrolling feature that we have in Builderall. So if I right click on this background, you can see that we've got all these different kinds of things. You can keep it fixed or you can scroll like I showed before, but you can also have the parallax effect. That almost sounds like, what is that guy what is his name? The carbonaro effect. This is the parallax effect. All right, so you can make it active. And then you get different kinds of things that you can play with. My favorite is the scroll opacity. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So let's just add something to this panel at the top. You see why I hated to use text and not duplicate from the panels, because now you need to go add a button and then a this and then a that. I don't like it. So look what happens. It becomes bigger and smaller. It's actually not the one that I like. It's probably the other one. Hold on a sec. It's probably the other one. Is it scale opacity? I think that's my favorite. Let me just save it. Oh, my nose is so blocked, guys. I sound like a different person. It's not Jacky that did the training tonight. It's a split personality or something. All right, so let's go preview. There we go. That is so awesome. I love the way it becomes bigger and smaller. It's almost like the other one, you know, big, small, big, small. And if you make it a little bit smaller, the impact is probably going to be bigger. So let's just do this and preview. Yeah, that's it. So you can see the big difference between it. Now I want to show you something that's very unique. Because it's in the middle, it goes bigger and smaller as you page it. But the moment you move the panel that you are working with, the scrolling effect panel, to the bottom of your page, it doesn't have the same effect. It only goes one way. So let me show you. I'm going to right click and I'm going to move this panel now to the bottom. So I'm just going to click on it. There is the panel. Moving it to the bottom and say move. And you know what? Let me just go unhide that panel and delete it, because I didn't delete it earlier. All right, so now we've got the panel at the bottom. So if we go preview now, see what's going to happen. It's only going to go one size. Can you see? Because you can't scroll further. It only goes up to the point, that's it, and it stops. That's what I like about it. It gives a different kind of feature to it. All right. So that was quite an easy one. The next one is, we just want to see. I'm going to leave the very best one for last. The one that's going to knock your socks off. I'm going to leave for very last. So let me just delete this one. Just to keep you here until the end of the training, I'm going to show you the best for last. Sorry that I'm doing that, but that is just how it works. All right, so let's go to the next one, which is a rotation banner. So we first are going to go and add a panel as always. And I love rotation banners, guys. And I'm going to show you just now why I love rotation banners. I'm just going to go click. And I'm so sorry, but I'm going to mute. It's so difficult if you cannot breathe. All right. So I'm going to show you something special, and I'm not promoting myself, guys, but I need to show you on my own website something, because I can't replicate it now. So I'm just going to go to my site quickly. And I'm going to show you what a rotation banner can do. And if you don't believe me, you can go take a look at my template store by go and look at the preview on mobile. It's really, really amazing what the rotation banner does on mobile. So I'm just going to click on a template store right here and scroll to my template store. And that specific one here, preview template. All right, so this, what you see right in front of you now is a scrolling rotation banner. It's really, it looks amazing. And a lot of people always wonder how these things are done. That is how it's done. You can easily add it. And I think in this specific site, I also used the scrolling banner for my testimonies. Right at the bottom, you can see is the testimonies. It is this, exactly the same thing, but this is a smaller version of the one right here at the top. This one is automatically done and the one at the bottom is not. So how do you do this? So let me go out of the site. So what you need to do is you add your panel and then you're going to go look for your rotation banner. And you're going to add the rotation banner. Let me just use one that's got color to it. All right, and you're going to put in your designs. And again, it comes back to make sure that you design your stuff in Canva or whatever program exactly to 1920, because you want to use that image inside of this area right here. So what I do normally is I would go and click on the group. You can see if you click on the group and you delete something, you're going to delete the whole group. If you click on the page, you are just going to delete that slider image. So I'm deleting the slider image there. And then I'm deleting this slider image. And then I'm going to delete the things inside of this number 0. Whoops, not the whole thing. Delete the box. And then right here is an image. You can see that's an image. So you're going to right click, go to general settings, or not general settings. Is this an image or not? I don't know what this is. Doesn't look like it's an image. Oh, there it is. And then change the image and upload your image. All right, that you are going to use. I've actually uploaded more than one. I'll just delete that one. Sorry, guys. All right, and then you need to play around with the container size. Once you've done that, you are going to duplicate it because you want the same size for everything, all right? And then you're going to change and add your next image. So we go change that image. Let's go look for another one that I know the image has sizes is the same. Let's use the Batman car. That's not really Batman car, sorry, but you can pretend it is. So you can see what I'm saying. There's the two ones that's now going to slide. All right. But we can maybe change, you can change the background white, obviously, if you want to, by just right clicking, go changing the gradient color of the background. I'm not going to go into the detail of that. I just want to show you how to change this and the size. Let me just do this. Make sure that the sizes is right. And then what you do is, it needs to be exactly the same. You're going to pull it to the side. You can see how it disappears now there on its own. It disappears. And you're going to pull it until the other side, until you get in the area that you want it. And then once you're done, you're going to click save. I'm just going to go preview, and you can see that it's there. Just need to play around with your image, because I just grabbed now whatever is available, but you guys can see the effect of it. If I had to put Batman in his place correctly, the only way to make it scroll automatically is to right click on it and go to the configurations. No, not right click there. Move it back. Go to the group settings, right click, and change your arrow and your autoplay here, depending on how fast you want it to go and if you want the arrow or not. I don't like to have arrows if I autoplay it, especially if it's a banner at the top of a page. But you literally need to change your design and the size of it before you actually do it. So I can even enlarge it bigger here to make sure that Batman is 100% right before I place him into the right area, to make him cover it up the panel. And then you can preview. And I didn't, and I'll remove the arrows. You see how stupid that is. And I didn't put it. But you can see if you put it on automatically, that is what happens. Look how gorgeous that is for a panel. It really, really is awesome. All right, that is making use of rotation banners, and you can do the same. So let's go scroll up, and I'm just going to make it smaller again. Now, if you want to make use of this as a testimonials, you just need to make the background transparent and add the text box in the middle. And then you will have that testimonial effect I showed you earlier. All right, so that is basically all about the rotation banner at the top of a page. All right, let me see what's the next one. And okay, and I did say it looks great on mobile. I did say that. Rotation banners looks great on mobile. It squashes it nicely. You just need to play around with it. All right, so there's two or three other things. It is when you use a panel. So I'm not going to go show everything in detail, but if I add a panel right here, my nose is so blocked, guys. If I add a block, if I add a panel, let me just delete that panel. Let's see. Okay. All right. We can have an arrow effect. Just pull it up to the top. You can right click. And let's just change the background settings to another color so we can see it better. If we want to, sorry. You can have an arrow effect enabled. And let's change this color as well so it fits. And you can change the width of the color. A lot of people don't realize that you can do this. And it really, really looks great, even on mobile. So you can see the effect it is giving there. If you have some text here at the top, let's go add some text. You can see what I mean. And this is now just randomly adding something so you can get the idea of what it looks like when you are playing around with arrows effect into another panel. Really, really looks so cool. Then we've got the hide panel feature. So I don't know how many of you guys have made use of the hide panel feature. I think again on my site I've got that. I'm not sure. Let me just check quickly if I got it. Yeah, I did. So you can see I've got here choose live, yes or no, but there's nothing else on this page. Because if you want to prompt somebody to do something and they're going to scroll, you might lose them. Yeah, I'm giving them an option. So the moment they click yes, it opens up the panel at the bottom. If they click no, obviously it goes somewhere else. So that is another panel that we have, or a feature that we have in our site. So if we've added some panels right here, let's say that is a panel, and let's add another one. All right, and we want to hide this panel. So we are going to have a button on this page right here. And I'm trying to go fast because I don't want to keep you guys too long. So there is our button. And we want this page to be hidden. You're going to have to right click, hide panel, enable, and then you are going to say seconds or minutes or time or action. I like to use an action. So I'm just going to say second panel for now. And I'm going to click save. All right. So now we know that this panel has been set, but it needs to be activated with a button. So you're going to click on the button, click on a set link. And right here on the side, show hidden panel. Choose the panel to show. It's the second panel. And the text, what's going to happen after it's been shown. So I'm going to say go back and select save and save. Now this normally don't work in preview really. It has to be, oh, well, I think the last time I checked, it didn't work in preview, but let's just check quickly if it does. Normally when your site is published, it's going to show you that effect. You see, not yet. So it gets some time, just like I showed you on my site. That's why I showed you the example. If you click on it and the live version, this section won't be shown at the bottom, only the one at the top. All right, guys, that is that section. You're almost there, almost to the secret of all secrets. Now we're going to talk about boxes quickly. If we go and add a box, and this is a neat feature. I don't really know what you can use it for. It depends. So let's go add, is it a box? Yes. Let's go add a box. There we go. And this is a nice thing. A lot of people is going to love this. There is my box. I'm going to go grab an image. And you might be wondering, what is this good for? And after I created this, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to tell you what this is good for. So the image I'm going to use is Spider-Man, obviously. I'm going to look for Spidey here at the bottom. Spidey is a transparent image I've created. Let me just scroll to the bottom. Oh, I actually got a robot as well, but I love this image here. There is Spidey. Spidey is a PNG image, as you can see. I'm going to drop him into this box right here. So his hands is touching the outside of the box. All right. Then I'm going to bring the box in like that. I'm going to right click on the box. Background settings. I'm going to make it transparent because the background of this page is obviously going to be black because we are busy with Marvel. So you can see now Spidey is sitting right there. We want to pin Spidey on the side here. And the reason why I put him inside of this box is because you can't pin images, but you can pin boxes. So if I click on the box, there's a little center pin. And then you can choose where you want to put it. You can manually stick it, but I would prefer to make use of a section there on the side and click done. So now I can see Spidey is sitting on the side of my screen. All right. So if I add additional panels, and that's what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add additional panels so that you can see what happens in the process. Another blank, another blank. And I'm probably going to make this one white. And then this one also white. And then I'm going to move this panel to the top. All right, so I can show you the effect and preview. So we can see what this looks like. Can you see what happens to Spidey? He stays on the side of the screen. It's just a beautiful, nice effect that you can have by pinning it inside of a box. Remember, always image, PNG inside of a box, and then you pin the box. All right, that's the secret to that one. Then I'm going to show you something else. I'm just going to leave Spidey there for a moment. I'm going to add another box. And this time I'm going to add an image inside of this box. And I was thinking, let's use, I'm just going to use this icon. All right. So normally we would use images separately, but people don't realize that you can add an image inside of a box too, which means is just like you can add an image to a button, you can also add an image to a box, but the box has got a special feature that you can do. So you need to use your imagination as how you're going to use what I'm going to show you right now. So you can see if I duplicate this box now, it just becomes a duplicated box. All right. But look what happens if I change this box and I'm going to fix it. All right. So I'm fixing it and I'm making it, I'm going to make this one tall. I'm going to duplicate it. This one I might want to make larger. I'm going to duplicate it. Oops, I didn't duplicate it. Duplicate. This one could be even larger. Like so. And we can duplicate this one again. Can you guys see what happens here? The magic of a box that is fixed. It doesn't matter what you do. You can move this box around because the image is now part of the background. All right. So you need to let your mind go as to how you can make use of a box like this. This is like a collage or something like that. And again, you're going to probably use it on desktop, but you're not going to use it mobile because in mobile it's not going to look this great. And those are one of the features that you would avoid using in mobile. All right. Then I want to show something that's very important. We're going to have a box. And we're also going to have a button. Where are you, button? There is your button. Now, I have seen people do this multiple times. Multiple times. They say to me, Jacky, my button is not working. I can keep clicking on it a million times. It doesn't want to work. I'm going to log a support ticket because there's a bug. Then I say, you know what, share your link with me. And guess what do? They're busy designing their site like this. All right, I'm going to show you what happens. Let's add some text here, just for the fun of it. Let's add some text in this box. And they've decided, but okay, I want all of these elements must form part of it. So I'm going to stretch it over like that because this is most now one part. All of it needs to be together. Guys, if you do that, do you know what you just done? You've layered this box over this button, which means is people can't click on the button because the box is over the button. If you guys can understand what I'm saying, what you have to do is you always have to add the box first, then take your button and add it inside of the box. Do not have your button and then add the box over the button because that's what happened most of the times. So be very careful. That is the one thing. The other thing is people might bring in images that is PNG like this Spidey. I'm going to take Spidey out of that. Can you see Spidey has got a kind of a whitish background here? So I'm going to put it bigger. Now, look what people do. They've got Spidey, and then for some reason, the button has been added over. It's been layered over it. So basically what happens is this. Can you see, do you think I can move? Can you see I can't move the button because it is behind the image, the PNG image. That is what you guys have to remember. You cannot use transparent boxes and images with a transparent background over a button. Lots of people make the mistakes when they create their opt-in pages. They've got these images that they've imported with the book that they're going to give away or whatever. And then the image, the transparency area is so big that when they place it over the button and they can't click on that button. So make sure that you guys always have the button on the outside and not inside of that image, unless you are going to layer it and put this image at the back. Layer it down until you can click on the button. Oh, my nose is so blocked. Oh, I'm so sorry. I sound terrible. All right, now we're going to do the last thing. That's going to blow your mind. Oh yeah, that what I wanted to say earlier, the little Spider-Man at the back that is pinned. What do you use it for? So I'm just going to quickly say to you guys, what do you use that little thing on the side? You are using it to do a few things. One is for opt-ins, to tempt people to opt into your newsletter, or to tempt people to click to get a coupon code, or specials like Black Friday. It's like a notification sitting on the side of it to keep them reminded of it, or you offer free shipping or whatever the case might be. That is what that section is about. All right, now for the magic that's going to happen. The most important one I left for last. All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to delete this one. And it's all about animation. And again, when it comes to mobile, be careful what you do, because with mobile, you do not want to have too much animation. But this is truly amazing. So the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to add a panel. I think we already got a panel. And I'm going to add a word. Maybe I want to reveal something for some reason. You guys can use your own imagination on what you want to do. So let's say the word that I want to reveal is Batman, obviously, or Iron Man. I love Iron Man. Let me say Iron Man, because he's got gadgets, and I love gadgets and technology and money. That's what he has. So I want him. All right, so there we've got Iron Man. And then we're going to add 2 images. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Image. There's image 1 and image 2. All right. For each. Now, what I've done with these images, I've gone to Canva again. I've created exactly the same image, and I cut it into half. All right. You guys are going to see now what I mean about cutting them into half. Yes, I'm terrible at naming my images. I really, really need to get a wake-up call. Where are you? I just could have typed in or, and I know I could have done so many things, but let me just keep quiet before I lose myself. Because everything is number 1 and everything is number 2. I'm never going to be able to filter anything. You know what? It's just like a mechanic's car is always broken and a hairdresser's hair is always messed up. A web designer like myself, come on, man. My images is out of order. Anyways, let's just look at this. You can see what I've done here. I've got 2 images that is basically the same. All right, let me just take Iron Man away there for a second. And I've separated them. I don't know why they're not exactly the same now. But anyways, so what are we going to do is we've got Iron Man, and I'm going to hide Iron Man behind this image. And that's going to be image first. I'm going to use the ruler because I really need the ruler to line it up nicely, the images, so that they are exactly at the same spot. Okay, so it did click. You would see when you do it, it feels like, when you use the ruler, it feels like it clicks. I don't know how you can say it feels like it, but it kind of feels like clicking. All right, so take
yeah, it's called snap to. That's what it's called. It's snap to, and that's why it feels like it clicks, because it snaps to the right place.
Thank you for that word. All right, so there we've got our image, and what we still need is a button now. Let's go grab a button. Now, guys, again, you need to play around with these type of things. I'm not a musician, but you would be able to figure out how to do this even better than I'm doing it. So I just want to make this a little bit more yellow. And I don't want it to be a hover effect. Taking the hover effect away. And let's go to the headline. And let's say reveal. And let's change that to black. I think that looks fine. I don't want the icon. All right, so now we're going to put this on top of it. All right, so basically what's going to happen is we are going to set it up that when a person comes to this page and they come close to this button means actually nothing. It's an animation that we're going to create, that when it comes to this button, it's going to move these images away to reveal the word or whatever is behind it. So what we're going to do is we are going to right click on the first one and we're going to go to animation and we are going to say hover. Let's choose hover and effect. Let's look at bounce, not bounce. I don't like bounce. What can I use? I think I said to use, what to use? I think fade was, no, not fade. Zoom out. Yes, zoom out right. This one, zoom out left. Hover. Zoom out left. Now, I'm sure you guys can find a better way, but this is just to get the juices going. Zoom out. Where are you? Zoom out left. Yes, that's the right one. And then the button is fade. I remember the button that I always use is fade. Over hover, effect is to fade. Where's just fade? Fade, fade, flash, fade in, fade left, fade and up. No, isn't there just fade?
I think you're looking for fade out. Is that right?
Yeah,
fade out?
yes, yeah. There we go. Yay. All right. It's safe. All right, so let's go test this baby. Wait, we missed something. Back. Iron Man needs to go to the back. Layer it, bring this to the front. Bring this to the front. Jacky. Where's my button? Bring the button. Ah, man. All right, let's try it again. You see how it is. You have to test. Play around, click around. If it breaks, just send support a ticket. It's easy as that. Close. So what happens? It fades. That one didn't work. Let's go back and fix that. Didn't we add it at fade or was it at time? Animation, hover, zoom out, slow. Hover, zoom out left, slow. It should be right. Oh, there we go. Isn't that awesome? That is it. All right, guys, that is all from me. I hope
that was a super cool effect.
That is a super cool effect. I think so, but you know what? There's still, I think if you use one image, maybe it's going to be a better effect than the two, because with a hover, I realized when you bring it over, if they hover from the left, only the left side's going to go away and not the right side. So they're going to have to move to the left side to get that section to move away as well, but it doesn't for some funny reason. But that is all. Was there any other questions? I don't see anything.
And I don't have a question, but just wanted to share with you guys that everything that Jacky taught today, you guys literally now have like the tools and the basics, and now it's all up to your creativity and what you come up with. And let me see, I'm gonna share my screen so I can show you guys. There's something that I did a while back. So this was a cool effect. I don't know if you remember, Jacky, when we were
that was awesome
together.
Yeah,
so this was cool, where you have a card and then you start going down. As you can see, it pops up. So just with that simple effect that Jacky taught us, you know, now you can just go to Canva or Photoshop or do something, and you can do, you know, pretty cool stuff like that.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, can I share one that my VAs did? That was really cool.
Yeah.
I have a couple of websites, and one of the things that I was worried about with the item that I was selling was it was a Google Chrome extension, and it didn't matter how many times I kind of put that into the text. People were like, I didn't know it's just a Google Chrome extension. So what I did was I did the pin box. So let me go to one of them, birthday wisher. This one in particular, it is a Google Chrome extension that wishes happy birthday to everybody on Facebook. So if you've ever gotten a happy birthday wish from me, it was probably this. It actually does it automatically for me. And right here, it says Google Chrome extension. And this is that box with the pinned image. And then when you scroll down, it just stays right there. So there's just no doubt that is a Google Chrome extension. It follows them everywhere. Also, I love that they put this right here, the button to buy. Anywhere they go, if they scroll up or down, it doesn't matter. That button's always going to be there, and it's an anchor button. And if they just click it, it will take them to where the checkout is. And both of those are just pin boxes with items in the box.
Awesome.
So that was a really cool effect that you use the pin box feature. Cool, right?
There's so many, that's so many different kinds of things that we can do. I mean, I would love to design all day long. That's why I like it when we do our trainings and stuff, like the presentations and our lives, our Facebook lives. I feel that we've got the freedom there to just show whatever we can. And that's why I love to use examples like pets and freaking Marvel heroes. God, I'm living myself out in these kind of stuff.
And one of my favorites that you did is actually that where you freeze the panes and they scroll over each other and can change the picture, like what Jean had and what you had with Spider-Man. And then was that Venom? Was that a Venom costume that went over the Spider-Man? But it's just really, that is one of the coolest features, and it always catches the visitor off guard.
Oh, most definitely. Well, I hope that you guys has learned something, and then luckily they can watch the replay. Oh, shame, just arrived. What have you got, Alexa? Got a question. Let me just check. I have a question. Mobile header, rotator sizing. Oh, well, throw us. What's the question, Alexia? Mobile header, rotator.
She's probably wanting to know if you do the rotating header, it's not really a rotating header, but the rotating box, can you resize it in mobile? And the answer is no. That one's a hard one, that if it doesn't fit just right, then you probably got to pull it out of mobile.
No, she just said she figured it out. But
well, that was easy enough.
Yeah. No, Alexa, you are wrong to say it works great on laptop, but not on mobile. You are very wrong. I can show you, I can give you a link to my template here, and I'll do it right away, and I'll drop it for you, and you go take a look, and you're going to see that it looks great. You can
do it. You just got to resize everything to make it fit the space that it has to operate in. So what that means is in desktop, you may have one size that fits the exact right, which is the 1920, which is 1,920 pixels wide. And then if you're working on mobile and you want it to appear on mobile, you may not want it to be that wide because maybe it's not able to show everything correctly in the little bitty text. So you may have to do a completely different rotation banner and make it so that the text is bigger and everything looks bigger for mobile. And you hide the mobile version on desktop and you hide the desktop version on mobile.
Yeah. I've given you a link to that thing. It should be, if you click on it on mobile, you'll see that it should not be a problem. It should load nicely, unless you've got a handset that's 15,000 years old that is not adaptable to the technology of today. But it should look nice. The last time I checked, I did optimize that specific one, especially for mobile. So it's all about, again, it's all about most of the time, it's users, it's ourselves that make mistakes of things not working. That's how I found out how to do it with your site. Oh, Alexa. Okay, cool. All right, well, that is all from me, guys. It's been, it's 2 hours, eh? Oh, good. No wonder my nose are stuffy and my everything is stuffy. Now I can go sleep. Ready to get going. Well, thank you so much for you guys being here. I really appreciate it. And I really hope that you've learned something and that it's going to help you with your design work, creating awesome web templates in Cheetah. So
you did fantastic, Jackie. There's so much you covered. And this is one of those, I think all of you guys would probably agree with me that you might have to go back and watch the replay on this one.
Definitely. So I'm going to stop the recording.